Okay, we're going to paint this seam out, at least on this piece right here. I'm not sure what we're going to do about this seam right here, but let's paint this seam out. And we're going to do the same thing that we do in Photoshop using the clone tool. We'll do a new layer, and we need to approach it a little differently though. So let's create a new layer. And what we need to do is actually sample off of every one of these layer types, because this is what makes Substance so wonderful. We need to do the base color. So go to base color, and we're going to make it pass through. Go to height, make it pass through. Roughness, pass through. Metallic. And what this is doing is taking all the information below this layer that it can see and pushing it up into it. So this layer 2 is actually just the diamond armor, and anything else below that's actually in this particular space. And so the idea from this point on is to actually clone where we're at. So let's go back up here and go to base color. So we haven't done any work yet. If I hide this, it's going to show whatever's behind it. And there's nothing else behind it, so there's nothing to sample. So now that we have that set up, the trick on this is that I'm painting a very small object, and so I run out of place to sample from. So what I want to do is maybe change my approach. But first things first, let's go here to the sample brush. We can go clone relative. In Photoshop, we would hold Alt and get a sample picker, but Alt in Substance gives us camera controls. So what we're going to use is the V key, as in Victor. And that'll give us a sample. Now when I'm sampling something, I want to sample and paint directly in that same spot. So if I actually were to sample on this corner, I want to actually sample off of this corner, and I want to paint using that same kind of angle. So if I go here and start painting up, problem is it's tough to match it exactly. So the trick on that, instead of working in the 3D space, which is a real pain in the ass, is actually sample the texture, the 2D texture. So if I go over here and I hit V and I sample this corner, I sample this one right there, and I want to paint right at the same corner over here. It's a little off, but I think we can still make it work. Okay, let's try this again. Let's do this sample, because I did it this time without, and it worked better. There we go.
You're recording video, right?
Yeah, and it's not going well either. So, you know, what else was new? So, yeah, let's see if we can just get that pattern. The trick is actually sampling right where the pattern matches. And I may just kind of go over it a couple times. Let's do this. All right, there, going a couple passes. And it's fixed for the most part. There's a couple areas where it's problematic, and I can definitely go back and fix that. I think I can probably just erase things pretty easily as well. Just kind of add the details and fix it up a little bit. So this will take some time, but that's the idea. Just the trick is to keep in mind that you want to make sure that your samples are all going through pass-through when you're doing your seams. But that'll definitely fix the seam a lot more effectively. Just a couple more areas to fix, and I'm good to go. Cool. Thanks.